Mayor Pro Tem Rick Collins.
Here.
Councilmember Aaron Pearson.
Here.
Councilmember Lisa Lake.
Here.
Councilmember Brett Hansen.
Here.
I have a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I move we approve the consent agenda.
Do I have a second? That. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, any council person have a report? Okay. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, last week we had a brief meeting there with myself, sorry about that. Last week, Brian had set up a meeting with Aaron and myself to talk about the progress on the new police station. And so I asked him maybe just to give a few words tonight to the group and to the audience on what's going on that.
Yep, and I'm happy to just give a brief update. We did go into a little bit more detail in that meeting kind of on some of these topics, but I'll just keep it kind of high level for right now. But right now we are completing the design development package that'll be issued on Friday of this week for pricing through Franson and Pittman, our general contractor. We'll get pricing back in about a month, and then we'll be able to kind of evaluate where we're at. We did price the schematic design package that was issued in the beginning of March. The pricing for that came back at about $1 million over what we had been hoping for it to be. Now that's total project costs. So that includes all of our, you know, when the construction priest goes up, like their contingency, all of their numbers go up as well as our contingency. So of that $1 million that went up, about 850,000 of it was actual hard costs for construction. We saw that based on in a couple of categories, mainly earthwork import was about 185,000. The electrical system went up about 350,000, and the mechanical and plumbing system went up about 150,000. Those were the bigger ticket items, but we've since brought a bunch of those things back into the budget parameters through the design development process. And we're seeing the climate kind of stabilizing as far as the construction costs. So we're hoping that this design development package comes back with much better numbers. There were a few places in that package that were a little bit ambiguous, which caused some of that, like that electrical number, 350,000, about 200,000 of that was new scope that was included that we kind of have weeded out as part of the process. So, and then some of it was a material escalation. So we're hoping for a lot better pricing in the design development package. The design development package is more based on design drawings as opposed to narratives by the major trades. So I think once they have real things to price, those numbers are gonna get much finer pencil. We also talked about some other places where we've been evaluating cost savings. We talked about the commodities market a little bit and where we're at. That's changing for the better now. It seems like kind of weekly, we're getting better information. Things are stabilizing as far as price. We're hoping that some of these things will start coming down as supply catches up with the demand. We'll be meeting again with the liaison team in July, and then again in August. August 11th is when we'll meet with kind of like the DD level pricing with our liaison team, and we'll probably have an update for you guys shortly after that.
Yeah, Brian, let me add one other thing. And all of this going forward, the due diligence and everything is very important. And I should say that we're still pretty much on track with our original timetable to hopefully start to break ground in late fall timeframe.
Late October, early November is our scheduled groundbreaking.
Thanks, Rick and Brian. Finance report, I don't see Lisa, so I assume there's not one. Engineering report, Don?
Thank you. All right, so first of all, if anybody has any questions or comments about the report, after that, I want to go into a couple of other things if you would give me just a moment. So first, any questions on the report itself?
Don, squeaky wheel question. When do you think Best Grove will be open?
July 1st.
July 1st, okay.
Yeah. It actually is scheduled to be open a little before that, but being a little
That's
cautious.
fine. July 1st is.
Yep. Okay, so I think pretty sure everybody's aware that there was a little electrical issue last week, which we've, I think sent out a bunch of different, let's just say informational packets or dialogue. And I just want to know, I know Brett asked some questions, the mayor asked some questions. Between Eric and I, we tried to, and Aaron asked us to put these out, and we've put out a couple. I want to make sure that if I need to put any more finer points to those, I'd like to. If the information was self-explanatory, good. If not, I'm here to answer a question.
I thought Eric's report was awesome, by the way. So I thought that was very concise, clear, and as I think we sort of overtly talked and everybody was listening in, sending that out to all the residents is a good call.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, I don't, I've said this to them themselves. I don't like Excel. Okay, they're a pain in the tail to deal with. They're hard to deal with. They're a big monolith, and it's hard to do. But the reality is, when they actually get focused to get something done, they have a heck of a lot of resources, and we have got them focused now. and I believe we'll see the effect of that. It'll be a positive effect.
Great.
Okay.
What else?
Hang on a second. So I had, street sweeping. I just wanted to give everybody kind of a little update on that. Earlier this year, I think you remember I said our goal was to sweep the entire town twice a year, and the Harmony Road and some of the major roads like Three Bell and Main Street and Signal Tree were going to be done as needed. What we've done to date this year is, to this moment, we've swept the entire town twice, and we're efforting to get Harmony Road swept at least once a month, and the rest of those major roads like Three Bell, Schoolhouse, Signal Tree, at least once a month. And we're on course to sweep the entire town 4 times this year. And from my at least perspective, that is more than I thought we were going to get. If we wanted and needed to do any more than that, we'd have to come back and start looking at resources in terms of personnel, not equipment. We've got the equipment we need. So,
Thanks, Don.
you're welcome. And then lastly, on the mosquito front, I got some information that Rick was a little concerned about that, or at least wanted some information. And so here you go, Matt, would you do that for me? And so we've got a really good group that we contract the mosquitoes out, and they are passionate about mosquitoes. And like I told Rick, I'm glad we found somebody that is passionate about mosquitoes, because I'm not. And so it's good to have somebody that is. And what you'll see there is actually a quarterly report that I get. And what this shows is, on the last page, you'll see a map that shows where all the traps are. And then this shows what the last trap inventory of types of mosquitoes in each trap. Okay, and so if we reach a point where there's a 50 of the Colex, which is the mosquito that we're concerned about with West Nile and those sort of things, if we anywhere we get 50, we spray. Any of the other types get to 100, we spray. And then we make a common sense decision at different times. If they don't get there and we haven't sprayed in let's say 3 to 4 months, we'll spray. And so this is the protocol that we go through, and this is the information that I get quarterly.
Is West Nile a thing of the past then? I don't see it on here.
No, Colex is the West,
Okay,
is the
all
West
right.
Nile. That's the mosquito that transmits it. So that's, so I thought this would be some information that I don't know that I've ever rolled out to you, but we get it. I get it. And I've just not, because I didn't think you were any more excited about the mosquitoes than I was.
Rick, thanks for asking for that. I think that's real informative. Sure.
Yeah, let me follow up on this. I see on the surveillance deal, the mosquito traps in Harmony. You've got the mosquito trap right outside of Harmony Club
Yep.
restaurant, it looks like. Wouldn't that be best served to find an area that's more adaptable to water, like on the golf course or something?
Well,
'Cause
this,
anecdotal, just so you'll know, last 2 years, we haven't had the problem with mosquitoes this early, kind of deal. And if we've got the 4th of July event coming up, we get a lot of people over there that camp out on those tee boxes, fairways to watch the fireworks, which is nice. But this year could be especially bad because it's hitting, and I know it's hitting in the neighborhoods, but I checked that trap area there, and it's right in a parking lot. I don't think that's where mosquitoes hang out at all.
well, this trap was set many years ago, before all of that built up around it. And so maybe you're right. Well, I'll talk to the mosquito folks and see if,
This on
but this-
asphalt concrete,
well,
where that trap is. I know where it's at.
all right. I will ask them about it. They still think it's in a right location and gives them the data they need for the area. And obviously we don't just spray where that trap is, we spray the whole
Oh,
area.
absolutely.
So, yeah, but I think he is concerned. Okay.
That we
So-
maybe get a different trap in a different,
If you
or
had a
It's a
relocate
different
it.
trap in
dry- it's a
different
dry area
location,
where
you'd
they
get a
put it.
different answer.
Where if they put it down at the other side of the driving range where there's ditch and there's
Yeah.
green grass and tall grass where the mosquitoes sort of hang out.
All right. I think that's a valid question. I'll throw that out there tomorrow.
He wants you to get to Club Mosquito, wherever that is.
Got it.
Hey, could you give a quick phone call or email report to Rick on that then?
I'll do that. Yes,
Thanks.
absolutely.
And one other follow-up on that, and maybe this is more directed toward Aaron, because I know that pretty soon we're going to start our budget talks, and you'll be working with your staff to try to nail these things down. I would suggest, and one of the things I'm going to bring up from my side of the table, from the council side, is when we're dealing with sweeping, snow removal, and mosquitoes and that, I'm not going to be overly excited if you over budget, because if we don't use those funds, it rolls over. And I don't want to be in a situation that if we have more snows than we're expecting, or we need more sweeping or more mosquitoes, we're not telling the citizens out there, we can't do it because we didn't budget for it this year, kind of thing. So I just throw that out.
Okay. Duly noted. We're coming up on budget cycle right now. It's my favorite time of the year.
Mayor, I have a question.
Yes.
So Don, can you expand a little bit on, I noticed like Wild Wing right now has high numbers.
Yep.
What kind of radius around that do you spray when the numbers are high on just one of the traps?
In basically the development area,
Okay,
the whole development.
okay.
Now, we do have a few people, and one of them is in Wild Wing, and then we have another in Old Town, and we got another one down a little farther in Old Town.
That don't want to be sprayed, right?
That's right. And so we get a lot more, let's just say, narrative conversation about not spraying than we do spraying. But we give them a wide berth.
Okay,
And so that's the only thing I want to put to that. But the
Okay.
whole development gets sprayed except for those few instances, and we give them a pretty wide berth.
okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
Anybody else? Okay. Hey, Don, great report. Thanks.
Thank you.
Community development, nothing there extra. Okay. And Chief, anything extra that you wanted to mention? Okay, great. Kim, discussion on events.
Hello, everyone. As you'll recall, 2 meetings ago, we had just an initial conversation about some of the special events that we were planning for 2021. And you had charged us with going back and creating some additional ideas on how we could bring the Timnath community together. So in your packet, what you will see is a list of those creative ideas. Let me share a little bit of context for how we came up with those. Again, in your packet, you'll see that we really did try to lay out a goal of creating community through gathering people in the same area. But then we also evaluated some other criteria. Who would the event cater to? What is the location of the event? And what is the type of event? right? There's a difference between a big old party downtown and a small neighborhood gathering, and then what we've deemed educational events, which is something that we've really started to do more of in this past year. So as opposed to reading all of the events to you, what I would love to do tonight is have a discussion about what of these strike your interest, which ones would you like us to pursue as we finish out this 2021 event season. And the final caveat is, these are the events that we feel really confident that we can do given resources. There's a little bit of conversation in that, but given time too, more than anything else, right? It's June. We do have an additional palette of events, if you will, that we'll be bringing forward to you for 2022 as part of the budget cycle. That's a little bit different, but all of the things that are in this packet are on these sheets, very doable. We think they'd be great for the community, and I don't think there's bad choices as we move forward.
So here's what I'm thinking of doing. I'm going to, see if you guys are okay with this, is go through each one. Anybody, do you agree to do it? Do you want to discuss it? Okay. And then we'll come back and discuss the ones that even if one person wants to discuss, we'll discuss. Is that sound like a good way to sort of plow through this? Okay.
Could I ask one preliminary question there, Mark?
Yes, Brett.
So my understanding is the total events budget is 500,000.
Correct.
If we were to approve every event, we'd be looking at,
Just over. I knew you were gonna ask me this, Brett, and I thought I should do the math myself.
Oh, yeah.
If we were to do every event, I believe, because we did the last minute edition of the police facility groundbreaking. So I think we're actually right under $500,000. There's a caveat there though. For one human to do all of those events in one summer is a little bit unreasonable. So we would, if we decided to do all of them, what we would ask for is an additional $10,000 to $15,000 for contractual seasonal event staff to support Cali.
But
And for
that's
planning
in the
efforts.
budget already then, Kim, correct?
That would be above and beyond.
just be over the 500.
Above the
And that's why I asked the
500.
question, just to establish a baseline. If we
Yeah.
approve all of them, we'd be about 510, 520 was my math. I just
Yes,
want to make sure you
thank
had
you.
the same answer I did. So
All right.
just to establish a baseline.
Okay, so I'm gonna shoot through this quick and then we'll come back. Okay, God bless you. Council chats. I'd like to discuss. 4th of July. That one's easy. Fitness in the park. Anybody want to discuss that, or do we? I'm going to say we delete it unless someone wants to discuss it. Nobody wants it? All right, it's gone. Ice cream social at the park. Okay, we'll
I'd like that
discuss. Concerts and food trucks. Discuss. Movie in the park. Discuss. Colorado Youth Outdoors, Safari. Discuss. Story time in the park. Okay, discuss. Timnath Fall Festival. Discuss. Citizens Academy. Discuss. Fall Cleanup Day. That's just a confirmed, right?
Yep.
So I'm gonna just put okay. Police facility groundbreaking. Since we're gonna be doing that in 2 years, we won't have to worry, right, Chief?
Well,
No, this is this is ground.
All staff.
I just wanted to see him. I just wanted to see a rise out of him. That's all. That's an okay. And lighting festival, we're going to discuss. Or wait,
It's confirmed.
is that a confirm? So okay, we'll put that as an okay. And then Winter Wonderland, discuss. Okay, is that all? So let's go back and start with council checks. Even though it says confirmed, I put in discuss. I like the idea if it work. My understanding was there were no town residents, that they were 4 people from Pardon?
Phil was there.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Phil. Phil was there on an official capacity as opposed to, and you, Phil, you can talk to us anytime, I would guess. But the rest was people that didn't live in Timnath. And do we want to use our time, resources, and money for no resident input?
I can say, Mark, that was something that whether we have the money for it, it's something that I will do regardless.
Okay.
So maybe not monthly or something like that, but I would definitely, I want to have some kind of less formal than this setting for people to be able to come and chat. And if they come to it, regardless of whether they live in town or not, they obviously have something that they want the town to know about. And I feel like, if they're in our growth management area or something like that, I feel that we should be willing to listen to them anyway, or if they have some kind of business relationship with the town, whatever it may be. So I don't necessarily know, the $2,000 budget. I'm not sure what that entails and whether it needs to have a financial piece to it. I know we advertise on social media and things like that, but that's probably pretty low cost. So I would say for myself anyway, it's something that I would like to do on a somewhat regular basis, whether or not we put it in the budget.
You turned on. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And I would call it sort of a forum. And I think it's an opportunity if we think outside the box a little bit with the new town manager. It's an opportunity for the town manager not only to have two members of the council at these things, to say the town manager is going to be there and he's invited the engineer or the sheriff, kind of deal, the police chief kind of deal, and just see who shows up. The $2,000, I don't think we're talking a lot of staff time if we just put out a notice that it's going on. Postcard, I don't know what a postcard costs, a mailing postcard. Even if we send out a postcard, we did it over the past saying this is happening, and maybe it's quarterly kind of thing. And I'm sure that you could get at least two of us to attend those things up here. I'd attend on one or two of them myself. But at some point we need to also get our top people, not just the council and the mayor out there. We need to get our top people out there as well as our new town manager, and then try to encourage developers and others to take advantage of these things, come in and have coffee or cookies. So.
I would just add that, I like it. I think it's a way of establishing, providing opportunities for people to meet with council members, even if they're not
Great. So
taking
we'll
advantage
leave
of
it in there. It's confirmed anyway.
I'll just add that we could play with the format a little bit. Maybe we do online streaming. People can comment online. If we play with the format, we might get a little bit more participation rate. That was all I wanted to add.
Okay. Ice cream social, it says confirmed. Is everyone good with that? Okay. Concerts and food trucks. I guess I'd like to see, this shock probably to everybody. I think one concert this year, because we're just not going to have the time or the manpower to do this, or lady power. And so my two bits is we do one concert in August or September, and that we get the food trucks there, but we don't pay for the food. The food trucks, we just make sure that everyone has the ability to eat whatever food truck they want, but we go from there. That'd be my two bits. So anybody else?
I would just add to that, based on some of the other calendar, we have the ice cream social in August. We have the Timnath Fall Festival in September. I know we're already almost into July. So I would just say we watch some of those dates, and we don't want to pack it. And I'm all for concerts and food trucks and things, but just realistically looking at the calendar and what that looks like with the other two already being confirmed, I would just be aware of that and how we might finagle all of that.
Mhm.
And by we, I also mean you and your team. So
It's the grand we. We
That's
love the
good.
grand we.
Fall Festival, I mean, it's 40,000. What do we, or 90,000? What are we
Mhm.
spending the money on?
So Fall Festival, again, is a downtown event. And so an event in Old Town requires that we, if indeed it follows the format that we've planned in the past, requires a lot of logistical support. So it's safety, traffic control, those type of things. It's not food. So that does not include any free food. That includes literally just the logistics and the, I guess, regulatory requirements for safety and closing down roads. Not just, includes other things too, the activities and those type of things. But the big expense is really the logistics in that.
So why wouldn't we want to put that in the community? I mean, I think we got to start thinking about out of the box and say, you know, most of our population is around the community park. I mean, I'll bet the logistics can't be that much if we have the community park because you're not closing up a road and all of that.
They are less, for sure.
And I would think we could probably save 40 or 45,000 putting it in the community park and make it where the families can walk to it easy enough. You know, there's 400 residents in Old Town. There's 2,500 in Timnath Ranch. That's my two bids. Okay, I think we're getting nods here. So how about if go?
Yeah, we were on concert and food trucks. What I would suggest is this year we say basically the concert thing, I was going to combine it with the Timnath Fall Festival and say I would scrap the Timnath Fall Festival. Go with one concert, even if it has to be in the fall. Right now, when I go over every Thursday night in Windsor, they have a concert on the lake over there.
Right.
It's huge as far as attendance, huge as far as food and food trucks. There's a lot of our residents I run into over there. We'll say we're going to sort of piggyback on them as far as concerts, but we're going to try to combine some of ours like the concert food truck and the Timnath Fall Festival, move it either into Timnath Ranch Park or the other park and have one concert and try to do the food trucks and that. You're just schedule wise to schedule groups or whatever. It's hit or miss at this point.
I like your idea, but there's no reason why we can't call that the Timnath Fall Festival.
Oh, you can call it
You
the
know,
Fall
I mean,
Festival.
we can call it the
Oh, yeah,
Timnath
if you
Fall
move it to the
Festival.
fall.
We could have the concert. We could have it set up at the community center and go. And I'm looking around and I think everyone's nodding their head. So I think
Well,
maybe.
I would slightly differ on that.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry,
it's-
Mark.
We're discussing.
Yeah, I know we're discussing.
I do know I've heard a number of residents express interest in the concerts and those types of activities that we've had. I do like your idea of doing just one concert. And I'd say with the movie in the park, just do one movie. So one concert, one movie, and then our other larger already confirmed events, I think would be what would fit in the schedule.
Yeah, we haven't hit the movie in the.
I know,
park yet.
I'm combining your thought
Okay.
with just one concert and one movie, and that's the smaller scale events essentially for the summer. Well, medium scale, I'd say.
So are you suggesting, Brett, 2 concerts?
I'm suggesting, so that's one concert and food truck event, just as you suggested, and then one movie in the park.
And combining the one concert and food truck with Timnath Fall Festival?
Have that be its own event, either in July or August, late July, August. I'm not sure exactly what you were thinking on the time
Well,
on that.
it's September 25th is what it says.
For the fall festival. The fall festival is its own confirmed event already.
Yeah, and by confirmed, it means we've booked vendors. So if we were to cancel it, there'd be a cost.
We've committed
loss.
funds.
Right. Now, I'm going to look at Callie. If we change the venue, I don't believe we lose any investment. Right, we'll figure that out. Don't you love when she says that? I do.
So I'm going to disagree with you, sorry.
Oh, that's fine.
So I would like to see the Timnath Fall Festival combined with the concert and the food truck in September. And it could be the September 25th that you have for there, that we do that. And the movie in the park, if and I'm fine with this one way or the other, if we want to do that, that it looks like it's easier to do, that maybe we do that into July, going with Lisa's concern about bunching things up and stuff.
Well, I was going to actually ask, so if we were to do a concert in, let's say, July, since we don't have a scheduled event yet in July, is that feasible at this point? Do you have bands in mind that have availability? Do you know what I mean? Is that even an option for, let's say, July? To piggyback off of what Brett had said about having like a standalone.
Callie has broken
event.
out into a cold
Yeah,
sweat.
she's
Lisa.
definitely sweating. Don't make eye contact. That's where I've been going. I would ask for some grace and flexibility on the timing.
Okay.
If the idea, the concept is something that you want and you tell us we really want it in July, we're going to really try to do that. But some grace if we can't make it happen to shift a little bit.
I'm just worried that we'd have one event one weekend and then
Yeah, we
another
would try
event the
to-
following
Okay.
and.
Right. There's only so much together.
It does
Exactly.
sound,
Right.
it does sound to me like if there's difficulty doing a lot of these events, then yeah, I do think it makes sense to just one event between 4th of July and the
Mhm,
Fall Festival, either a movie in the park or concert movie or whatever. But
mhm.
so I'll amend my previous
Well,
thought.
see, we've got ice cream social there. That's,
Yeah, and that's in there
That's
too.
in August.
That's in there too. And that's
So-
confirmed. So
if you went just writing it down, you got July 4th, you got August 13th, you've got September 25th, and that would be entailing ice cream social. That would include, in my mind, a concert and food truck combined with the Timnath Fall Festival. You know, to be fair to Kim and to Callie, that's 3
no, it's true.
each month. I don't know how I mean, we want them to be nice. They want them to be nice.
Right.
And to sit there and run someone ragged, I don't know if it makes a lot of sense at this point.
So you think get rid of the concert and food truck option?
Well,
Are we-
I'd combine it with Timnath Festival.
We'll
September
still just
25th.
call that the Fall Festival, though,
Yeah.
whatever stuff they want to throw in.
Yeah.
So we would strike that. Do you still want to do a movie, or do you think at this point we're pretty full since we have something every month? I mean, I'll put that question to the whole council.
Can I ask a question about the date too? Because we
Sure.
had August 13th. Is that one already set in stone? Because that's also New West Fest in Fort Collins. So I didn't know if that date is.
Have you done contracts on
Yeah,
that,
Callie,
Callie?
if I remember it correctly, and you might want to come up here as well, but if I remember it correctly, we do have some obligations for that date as well.
In years prior, we have had New West Fest on the same night as Summer Barbecue, and we did not see a decrease
Okay.
in attendance. I think there's a piece of that this is a lot easier of an event for a Timnath resident to attend. Also, New West Fest this year is going to be ticketed, so it'll be even harder to go.
You know, the nice thing about us having it at the same time is it'll be Timnath residents, not flow over from Fort Collins. Not that I'm saying Fort Collins residents can't be part of our deal,
But we are better.
but we are Timnath.
Perfect. Thank you.
I wouldn't go too far, Kelly.
All right,
Well,
so
Let
go
me
ahead.
just- I haven't said anything yet.
Yeah,
so-
you haven't.
So I like
What happened?
the idea of obviously we have the 4th, we have the Fall Fest, which already includes live music and food trucks anyway, so it's really already in there. I like the idea of the movie night in the park. I think it's going to be a big family event, that we could do. If we do it in the park down there, I'm sure we'd get a ton of attendance on something like that. And I think it would be a lot of fun, and it's not very expensive. I mean, the 8,000 is for 2 events.
Right.
I'm just saying I think one event in there would be great. And then we already have a concert on the Fall Festival. And we're going to have live music for the ice cream social. So I think that we could probably skip the rest of the concerts for this year. I'd rather do the movie, movie. I think that's same thing you were thinking. So,
So let me, so Cal, you're back. Okay. So here's what
Not going anywhere.
I'm going to throw this out. Council, tell me if I heard wrong, please. So July 4th, we're going to be having concerts and that going on, and we all know. August 13th, we're going to have the ice cream social at the park. Sometime between August 13th and September 25th, we're going to have movie in the park. September 25th, we're going to have concert, food trucks, Timnath Fall Festival in the park. Okay.
Mhm.
And that's all the farther we've gotten. Does
Mark, can
everybody
I just
feel
say one
good?
thing?
Yeah, go
I would
ahead.
just say for the movie, if there's not a lot of logistics, I don't know that we have to be limited to between August 13th and that September. I think we could do something earlier if that were the case.
Yeah, I'm
for
trying
that.
to be considerate of her and being able to get it done in time and stuff.
We could definitely get a movie between now and
Okay.
August 13th. I don't want to guarantee July, but I'll do my best.
yeah, that might be better for school too, because school is
Yeah.
going to start mid-August and then
Mhm.
things all go crazy with families then. So.
Okay, so that, and we'll give you grace if it doesn't come out that way, okay?
That's great.
So let's keep going. So that takes us through to Colorado Youth Outdoor Safari Day. Anybody excited about that? Looks like it sort of got, it sounds like you got sort of panned it, but anybody else for it? Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm for it, but it just a logistics thing of trying to get 120 to attend. You've got to get notification out to the residents of Timnath and the families that would like to do that kind of thing. We're a little rushed here for time.
And that would be a bigger lift, I believe, is the
This would be a
way I
big
would put that.
lift kind of thing.
And I will say, CYO, after our conversation last time, said, you know, we are a willing partner in events. How else do you think we could work together? Maybe this is one that we move to the 2022 idea list and say, you know, there really is a great synergy there, a great partnership, and maybe a little bit more time, we can figure out exactly what this event looks like and what we can provide the community.
Right,
Everyone
and this
okay
is
with
one that,
skipping it this
if
year,
we-
or not you?
if we turned it to 2022 and look down the road, that when people come in to get a boat permit, we give them a sheet that
Right.
says, you might want to sign up for this because it's limited space next year with this camp where you can take your kids out and have this day with your kids kind of thing. We just don't have those logistics set up right now. And the last thing I want to do is see us fail at something just because we're rushing it. So
Okay,
I would
so I
put
think
this
by
one-
looking at everybody, everyone's saying skip it, right? Okay.
put it 2022 next.
Story time in
Got
the
it.
park's not a big enough deal to get too excited about one way or the other, I think, but see anybody? I mean, is that something that you want to do? I mean, if you want to do it, I'm sort of for fine,
Well,
but if you
that's-
don't want to do it,
Yeah, let's be honest, on the movie in the park, it's a big draw, but if we cut a couple of these other things out, we could probably provide the ice cream. And, you know, some of the stuff like that, ice cream or a hot dog kind of thing, and have where people will show up.
Yeah, I like that idea, Rick.
Yeah, and I
Okay.
also would ask if we've tried partnering with Poudre Library to see, I know they go to other communities sometimes for some of the things like that. Beth Key's having a story time in the school a couple times this summer as well. So I would say we could always investigate that for like next year or something.
Yeah,
so what? Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, I agree with Lisa there that I think maybe doing it in our community room, you know, for moms with young kids, you know, to be able to do it, I don't know, on a Tuesday or something at
Yeah.
9 a.m. or whatever time would work, and doing something like that, you know, monthly in cooperation with the Poudre Library. I think that would be a nice amenity for the families here in town.
That's great.
So I
We'll
think
add
we're
that to
saying,
2022.
get you do flexible and try to see what you can pull together. Is that what we're all saying?
Yeah.
Is that, okay. Okay, we talked about the park, Citizens Academy. I don't,
Yeah, this is one that I would recommend, we give the town manager at least a year on the ground before we start pushing this thing. So we'd look at in the next budget cycle to do that and then be able to actually go out and try to, because you not only have to find these people that want to participate, sometimes it helps to recruit them to participate. So
I would actually say it's similar. I know Rick had mentioned having some of these staff at the council chats. I don't fully agree with that. I feel like there's different purpose. And I think that in my mind, that's kind of what the Citizens Academy would be. It would be more staff-based or something like that. And sorry, Aaron, but I don't necessarily think you have to be here a year before you or other staff could do some of those things. I think, it's actually a great opportunity to hear what community members are wanting or what questions they have, those kinds of things. So I see this as almost that piece you mentioned earlier about staff being there to talk about development or roads or power or whatever. And keep the council part just kind of council, so.
If I could jump in just for a quick second. To put the academy together doesn't put a whole lot of weight directly onto me. So it involves all department heads. I would probably only be there one of the night and we would run it over a series of weeks. And so I appreciate the sentiment, Rick, but I think we could do it this fall.
So it's being it's in you guys feel good about it and stuff, and you guys feel good about it. Okay, so that's an okay. Well, cleanup, we already have got going. Police facility groundbreaking, we will do. Holiday lighting festival, we will do. Winter Wonderland sponsorship. I will say, I really hope we do this. I thought it was just incredible last year. I got more attaboys from that than anything I've gotten as mayor. So I really like, especially now that we've cut a few of these things, we've got the money to do it. I'd really like to see us step forward and do this one.
I'll add that I have given a lot of thought to this particular one. I think it would be a group that provides a service to Timnath. I'm okay with looking at it for this year. I don't know that I'm ready to commit to this being a long-term annual commitment of any kind. But because I know we discussed that there were some concerns about, are we going out of our way to support a nonprofit? As I've thought about this, the way I'm seeing it is, if there were a business in town that did light displays, I don't think we have any issue with paying them $20,000 to do a light display for the town. And so that's kind of where I'm coming down on this is I'm okay with doing this event.
yeah, it stated earlier a couple of meetings ago that I think this is a great opportunity to keep grow with this thing as it gets bigger and bigger.
I think I'm looking around. It's a go. Okay. All right, it's a go. Just so the council knows, I moved this to the front of the agenda because I knew we'd want to have a lot of discussion and stuff. And I think you guys, great discussion. And Kim, did we give you good guidance?
Perfect. I appreciate it.
Okay,
And I
and
appreciate the
Callie.
conversation. And yeah, big thanks to Callie and Megan, who did a lot of the hard lift on this one. So I appreciate it.
Good. And thanks, council. This is one of those things where everybody has an opinion and it's nice that we all could come through it. So good job. I lost my agenda here. Hold on. Okay. Resolution number 35, series 2021, a resolution authorizing Public Works Director to assign and purchase proposal for new Ram crew cab and equipment package. Don.
Okay, this is a truck we've been staging to get for some time. It will be the most versatile piece of equipment almost that we have, and it'll help us in the snow removal and during the rest of the year. It's just a very versatile vehicle. Are there?
And it's in your budget, isn't it,
It is.
Don? Yeah.
It definitely.
Anybody have any comments? Okay. Could I have a motion?
I move to approve the authorization of Public Works to purchase a new Ram 5500 crew cab and equipment package.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 35, Series 2021, resolution authorizing Public Works Director to sign and purchase proposal for a new Ram crew cab and equipment package passed unanimously.
Thank you.
Sure. Resolution number 36, Series 2021, resolution approving the disposal and the disposition and disposal of lost, abandoned, or recovered stolen equipment. And this is for you, Terry. But you know what I think? I think the stuff's there pretty good, except I think Lori, and I'd like you to come in and talk about it a little bit, but mainly ask you guys if you have questions on it. Do you want to? I think it's pretty well set. So stay there just in case. So one of the things I mentioned when I saw this on the agenda to Lori is why it seems ridiculous for us to have to pass this each year. And in fact, I think I shared that with you too, Chief, that why don't we, my understanding is right now we have a whole set of rules. Why don't you go ahead and mention them, Terry, the things you go through at this point before it ever hits this sheet.
Oh, thanks, Mayor and Council. With the property disposition, it comes in a variety of different forms. One is evidentiary, which are cases that are adjudicated in Larimer County or Weld County courts that when the case is dispositioned, the district attorney says, turn the property back to the rightful owner. In those instances, they're either notified in court or we send a letter to their last known address, both registered mail and then regular mail. If we receive information back to return it to them, we return it to them. Lost or found property that we recover, which is from a variety of different locations, either businesses or people find things in their front yard or in a park. Those items that we don't know who owns them, we put out the information for a minimum of 90 days on our town website indicating we have property. If you think it's yours, please contact us and we'll get it returned to you. For the most part, all the property on the list that you've received, we have not heard anything back from anyone. And so we would like to dispose of it. Now, to dispose of it properly, some of it's just going to be thrown in the trash. Property that we obtained along the creek bed or something that appears to be abandoned, but it has some value, we'll just dispose of. Other items the town may find use for. In one instance, there's a series of trailer tires that were recovered from a theft at Walmart. They fit the trailer tires that our town uses, so the town could absorb those. And then I suppose the most critical piece is funding or funds. In some instances, we obtain property in the form of money, found property, people turn in things. We don't know who the owner is. So that will end up going back into the town general fund. There's a couple of items on the list people found, and there's a provision in town ordinance that allows them to petition the town if it's not claimed to receive it. And so in one instance, it's a drill case with a drill. So that individual has expressed an interest to have it, and providing council approves it, that's the way we distribute that. But it all follows within the town ordinances that it's a check and balance for us. And hence council makes the final decision and then we follow their bidding.
So one of the things, so this is sort of a prelude to assign to Lori, to Chief, correct me if I'm putting words in your mouth, Chief and myself and Lori all believe that why do we do this once a year? When we've got such good set of guidelines and ordinances, why doesn't it just become automatic that the chief can go ahead and dispose of that property? Is that a good request to give to Lori to bring to us? Okay.
Actually, my position right now is just that I have to look to see if there's a state law or something that would prohibit us from removing the check and balance first. So once I do that, it doesn't matter to me which way we do it, and I'll do a resolution to change our code, but I haven't done that yet. So.
Yeah. Great, thanks. Okay, so any other things you wanted to mention? Chief?
No, we just recommend you approve it so we can dispose of the property.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion to approve resolution number 36? Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, resolution number 36, series 2021, a resolution approving disposition and disposal of lost, abandoned, and recovered stolen property passed unanimously. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.